Howdy. Today is November 16th, 2023, and I am on PCH near the Palisades, Getty Villa in LA. Yesterday I had my first meeting with my new oncologist at UCLA Harbor, and his name is Dr. No. So the news isn't good. The news is that it is PMMR, which means that immunotherapy is unlikely. They're suggesting a treatment option as what's known as chemoradiation, followed by chemotherapy, followed by surgery. Chemoradiation is these pill form of chemo at the same time as a course of radiation. And once that course is done, then 12 to 18 weeks worth of chemotherapy, 6 infusions, 3 weeks apart, and then reassess to see what's left of the adenocarcinoma. For those of you that haven't heard, there's a 4 centimeter mass in my colon, in my rectum actually, about 15 to 20 centimeters from the anus, and there's a 1.3 centimeter mass in the nearest lymph node, and there's 2 other lymph nodes that are trying to decide if they want to join the party, and a 4th lymph node that is precancerous, looks like. All of that amounts to stage 3C adenocarcinoma of the rectum. For those that know what this is, it's T4N1 or 2, right on the border, M0. So it's a pretty aggressive form of rectal cancer. It's one of the most common forms of rectal cancer, which means that even though it's quote-unquote curable, it also has a tendency to spread locally, and so it would require me to be constantly monitored for the rest of my life. A lot more colonoscopies in my future. I'm just doing this as a quick. I did it on Instagram, but you can't download those and repost them, so I have to do another one. And this is in part for the folks that have donated to my David's Wonder Fund GoFundMe page, so that I can do sort of a scattershot group update. I also do these, as I mentioned yesterday. When I got out of the hospital, I immediately did a video that really, I think, captures my mood. So if you're on Instagram, go ahead and take a look at that. So my next appointment is with a surgical a surgeon next surgical consult a week from today, I think it is. the 22nd of November, day before Thanksgiving. So I probably won't be making it to the Thanksgiving Council, but we'll see. And then the follow-up would be with this oncologist on the 1st of December. So this is kind of the reverse of what I have been preparing myself for. I mean, I've been holding out hope for it to be immunotherapy, but I had prepared myself for beginning infusions on, I was scheduled for December 5th of the chemotherapy drug that is the cousin of what I had with the neck cancer. It's a platinum-based chemo, but it's specifically effective on rectal tissues. So I was preparing for that, and but that's not what's happening. So what is happening is unclear, because in order to begin the first treatment that they're talking about, with the pill and the radiation, I have to see a radiation oncologist, and as the person that I had the last time I had radiation kind of dropped the ball on my case, actually stood me up when he was supposed to be reassessing. I don't have any confidence in him as a doctor. Having met with him 4 times and 3 of them being very, very disappointing and unprofessional. So I've requested, for them to find somebody else for me to see, but that's not scheduled, and there's some question as to when that would happen. They still have me on the schedule for starting chemo infusions in January 2nd, but I would have to complete that first chemoradiation protocol before we could even begin that. And like I said, it's not even on the schedule. I don't even have a date for meeting the radiation oncologist, who is yet to be named. So I'm in limbo as far as that part of the medical solutions is concerned. I'm not stopping everything that I'm doing, and I'm still I'm waiting on some friends that have promised to make me some Rick Simpson oil, so I can begin that intensive as soon as possible. And the essence of that protocol is when you eat full spectrum cannabis resin, it goes to your liver, and your liver creates this compound that only can happen through your liver, called THCA, and that compound is supposed to be very effective in smothering cancer cells. And rather than, you're supposed to, Rick Simpson's original protocol was to do that over 3 months, but I'm going to probably be doing that in the whole 60 grams of THC resin in cannabis resin in 2 weeks. So we want to get moving on that as soon as possible. It's supposed to be being made as we speak, so we'll see how that goes. I'm doing all the stuff, the 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C, keeping myself alkaline, or attempting to anyway. And diet's a little funky right now, because in order to survive the chemo that they're recommending, I've got to start putting on weight, which means, you know, lots of pizza and pasta and carbohydrates and all that kind of stuff, fats. But a big part of me is saying is to kind of slow that roll. Right now I weigh between 180 and 185 pounds, depending how many slices of pizza I eat in a day. And we'll see. Something saying to just stay the course and keep, continue to limit the carbohydrates, because that just feeds the cancer. And keep my immune system up. So I'm going to continue to follow my intuition on these things. Sorry it's not better news for people that have been tuning in, but it is what it is. Yeah, so today is a day of self-indulgence. So I'm kicking it in the van, and I wanted to go for a swim, but it just rained yesterday for the first time in months, so the fecal count out there is probably insane. The water's really warm though, relatively speaking, and it's very challenging not to just go dive in. And here I am, as I said the other day, you know, I'm that guy that the graybeard that goes swimming in the ocean in November. Who knew that was ever going to happen? But I actually look forward to it, the cold plunge, to help build up my immune system, keep it high. So anyway, I'm gonna keep you posted when I have more information. I know I'm probably not making a whole lot of sense right now, and that's gonna have to be okay. As I said yesterday, I'm doing these videos to keep a record. This is, in case you've lost count, this is the third cancer diagnosis in 4 years. And it's kind of funny because I in the middle of all this, I learned how to fly. I got my P1, P2, and P3 certifications. I've been working on my P4, and every time I try to give it my full attention, you know, there's another cancer scare. This time last year, and maybe 3 diagnoses, but this time last year, you know, the scare was the possibility of lung cancer. So I was still on point at that time, but I knew it wasn't. That wasn't what was happening, but I had to still take care of myself just in case, you know. So this is, for me, this is actually my fourth go round. But this time it's for real. And you know, I just want to say one thing about what's up here. The survival rate is between 25 and 40%. 3 years out from treatment. So, you know, I appreciate all those folks that say, you know, feel that they're being encouraging by saying things like, oh, you've done this before, and you'll beat it again, and all that. I don't really hold with the whole beat it and you know, the military jargon of kicking and, you know, striking and all that stuff. It's just not, to me, this is a shamanic journey. This is a spiritual journey, and It's all to teach something to somebody. And I have to be, I choose to have to go through this with my eyes as wide open as I possibly can. And I don't expect other people to be able to do that. And so if you feel the need to tune out, you go right ahead. And no harm, no foul. I can't blame you, because, you know, the world being the way it is, we're all getting overwhelmed right now, especially, you know, everybody that's around my age, they're all dealing with it. And Sarah, it's sad to say, if you're not aware of this, in the United States, 42% of men and 38% of women will have some brush with cancer in these present generations. It's not like that in other countries, but here we are in the United States, and we can kind of guess why it's that way. So I know the numbers, and while I deal with the numbers and I educate myself about the numbers and everything, I know I'm probably one of the most healthy 66-year-old African American, Native American, European American men that you will ever meet. And so if anybody can survive what's coming, then it would be me, you would think. But every cancer is different, and this cancer is different than the one I had the first 2 times. Completely different. It wasn't caused by the other one or anything. It's completely standalone. When I was in the waiting room yesterday, I, trying to ground myself before going into this meeting. I can't help but listen to hear other people's stories, and this woman was there for a general practice meeting, and she was appointment, and she was talking to the woman sitting next to me, and she said, I had 3 different cancers, 3 completely different cancers, starting in 2017, and I'm still here. So what I got from that was the universe talking to me, saying, whenever you think that what you're facing is like, there's always somebody else that's got a more intense story, and it's not a one-upmanship. It's not a competition, but it's just, it's all information, things to learn from. So I trust in the unfolding, and yeah. So I'll get off, let you get back to your wonderful life, and I hope that you're savoring every fucking second that you have and making the most of it. If you have dreams and visions, that you follow through on them, that you savor every breath, that you savor every time you stand up and take a step, because these things ultimately cannot be taken for granted. I have friends that, contemplate suicide, and it's so bizarre to have people fighting to get out of the world while I'm, doing my best to stay in it. And I'd rather be doing my best to stay in it than anything else. So 2 things I want to leave you with. This quotation, I don't know who said it, but I've kind of modified it, that there's nothing like facing the possibility of your imminent demise to sharpen the mind and the imagination. I love that one. And the other one is that we're here for such a short time. And in every moment, we are either living or dying, and it's our choice. There was a time a few years ago after my mother passed, after helping her through the hospice scene, when I had the ability to see how close people were to death. And that's not a vision that I would wish on anybody. And so it was very interesting walking through a crowd of people, being able to see who was choosing life in any moment and who was still living and totally focused on being here. And I don't wish that on anybody, but it was very instructive, is all I'm saying. So that choice is with us in every moment. Choose wisely. All right. Remember, we love you. My focus is still to learn what I have to learn to glide from Nobska Point to West Chop next summer. So, there, take that. And to do the kitchen at the National Daydreaming Club Natural High Kitchen. Popcorn, chai, and cacao. And maybe even make it to Burning Man again next year. So, let's see. Thanks for listening. Where is the button? Oh, there's the button.